Evaluate the line integral along the curve C of x squared plus y squared plus z squared ds, where C is parameterized by r of t and t is on the closed interval from 0 to 2. Notice the line integral is with respect to arc length s given by ds. We want to evaluate with respect to t, so looking at the notes below, we'll write the given function x squared plus y squared plus z squared as a function of t using the components of r of t, and then ds is equal to the magnitude of r prime of t dt, which is expanded here on the right. To begin, x of t equals 3 cosine 2t, y of t equals 3 sine 2t, and z of t equals 4t. Let's also find the derivatives. X prime of t equals the derivative of 3 cosine 2t, which requires the chain rule. The derivative is 3 times negative sine 2t times 2, or negative 6 sine 2t. Y prime of t equals the derivative of 3 sine 2t, which is 3 cosine 2t times 2, or 6 cosine 2t. And z prime of t equals the derivative of 4t, which is 4. So the given line integral along the curve C of x squared plus y squared plus z squared ds equals the integral with respect to t from 0 to 2 of, we now need to write x squared plus y squared plus z squared as a function of t by performing substitutions for x, y, and z. If x equals 3 cosine 2t, x squared is equal to 9 cosine squared 2t, plus if y is equal to 3 sine 2t, y squared is equal to 9 sine squared 2t, plus if z is equal to 4t, z squared is equal to 16t squared. And then we have times the square root of the sum of the squares of x prime of t, y prime of t, and z prime of t. If x prime of t equals negative 6 sine 2t, the square of x prime of t equals 36 sine squared 2t, plus if y prime of t equals 6 cosine 2t, the square of y prime of t equals 36 cosine squared 2t. And then we have plus if z prime of t equals 4, the square of z prime of t equals 16. And then we have times dt. And now let's begin to simplify. Let's focus on this sum and this sum. If we factor out 9 from this sum, we have 9 times the quantity cosine squared 2t plus sine squared 2t. And we should recognize that cosine squared 2t plus sine squared 2t equals 1. Similarly, on the right, if we factor 36 from the sum, we have 36 times sine squared 2t plus cosine squared 2t. And once again, the sum inside the parentheses is equal to 1. Simplifying, we have the integral from 0 to 2 of, here we have 9 times 1 plus 16t squared, which gives us 9 plus 16t squared, and then times the square root of 36 times 1 plus 16, but is equal to the square root of 52. And then, of course, dt. Let's go ahead and simplify the square root. 52 is equal to 4 times 13, which means square root 52 simplifies to 2 square root 13. Let's factor that out. We have 2 square root 13 times the integral from 0 to 2 of the quantity 9 plus 16t squared dt. And now we integrate with respect to t. Integrating 9 plus 16t squared with respect to t, we have 9t, and then plus 16 times t cubed divided by 3, or 16 thirds t cubed. And now we determine big F of 2 minus big F of 0. When t is 2, we have 9 times 2 plus 16/3 times 2 cubed. And when t is 0, we have 0. Simplifying, we have 2 square root 13 times the quantity 18 plus 16/3 times 8 equals 128/3. And 18 plus 128/3 is 182/3. And 2 times 182 is equal to 364. Let's write the final answer as 364 square root 3 divided by 3. I hope you found this helpful.